Hey, what is up guys? Calum or Calum's Fish Tanks, and today we are starting a brand new series. Now I'm just going to be calling it Cool Aquarium Plants for now, but basically the goal is to run through a bunch of different species, or a couple of different species of aquarium plants per video, giving you guys a basic idea on how to care for these. It's basically to expand your knowledge of different aquarium plants you can keep, as well as showcase some you may have never heard of. Now this series is going to be made for beginners and people who have kept plants before alike. It's basically just to give you guys an idea of some other stuff you could keep in your aquarium. So all these plants I personally do sell, so if you are in Canada and are interested in buying these, I'll have my email down below that you can contact me on, and I will send you guys a full list of all the plants I carry. Or you can shoot me a quick DM on Instagram, Calum's Fish Tanks. I'll have a link to that down below as well. So now the question is, what plant to start with? Now this plant I have been keeping for a while, and it is definitely one of my favorites in the hobby. It is Anubias Nana Pinto. So I grow all my Anubias Nana Pinto attached to lava rock. So I just went and grabbed a nice little chunk out of my tank, and I'm gonna get some close-up shots for you guys. But as you can see, the new smaller growth is a nice bright white. Now you're mainly gonna get this when you're using very strong lights, but you can get a lot of white if you don't as well. But what you'll most likely get for your new growth is what the color of the older leaves are, with the white variegation, and these will slowly become more green as new leaves come in. So you can't expect, unless you have really strong light, the whole plant to be bright white, but for the most part it will be a bit of variegation between green and white, which I think is a really nice look. So for final remarks on Anubias Nana Pinto, you do not need CO2 to grow this plant well, or a lot of fertilizers since it is such slow growing. But if you do want that nice bright white like you saw in those videos, you're going to need a lot of light. Now if you don't have a lot of light, you're still going to get a bit of white, but overall this is a very easy to grow plant. You can grow it under low tech conditions, and that's why it's one of my favorites. I think I have it in 2 different tanks now. I used to have it in 3 but took it out because it didn't really fit. But it's a great plant for aquascaping and really adds a pop of white, which you can't find much other places in terms of aquarium plants. Next up we have one of my favorites for aquascaping, an absolutely amazing plant, and that is Neataleaf Java fern. Now let me think. I think I have this in all 4 of my tanks right now, and for good reasons. It's such an easy growing plant, super bushy, beautiful green, and it's just amazing. I know George Farmer uses this all the time, and a bunch of other aquascapers do as well, because it is just the perfect plant pretty much. But I'm gonna get some close up for you guys and talk a little bit about the care. Now I'm actually not going to talk too much about the care for this plant. If you want to learn more about how to care for Java fern, it's pretty much one of the easiest plants to grow in the hobby. But I have a video all about tips and tricks for growing this stuff successfully, which I will put a link to up in the top corner that you can go check out. But here you can see it. I have it all over my 7.5. You can see it's got bubbles all over it. You can see some all the way to the background too. Now Neataleaf gets these nice long leaves, as you can see, better over here, that are a nice shade of green. They really work well for filling up areas on driftwood, which is what I mainly use them for. They are a rhizome plant, which means you can just stick them in little cracks and stuff, and they will grow to attach to your driftwood. But here you can see I've attached it to Malaysian driftwood, and it has pretty much taken over this scape, and it gives it a super nice filled in look. Now if you want to learn how to attach this to rocks, for example, I have a video all about that as well, which I will also put in the top corner. But you can see why it is such a popular plant in aquascaping. It makes this beautiful focal point, and honestly I just love this stuff so much. But anyways, now on to the final plant we are going to be talking about today. So the final plant we will be talking about is Rotala Bonsai. Now this is one of my favorite plants in the hobby. I've just had such a hard time growing it, and I've recently discovered my problem because I'm now growing it amazingly, like perfect for what I'm used to. But basically the key to growing this plant is to keep it in direct light, and a lot of it. It loves really high light. I don't know if it really needs CO2. I'm probably gonna try growing it in here sometime in the future under the ONF flat nano without any CO2, so under low tech conditions but high light. So like I said, I'm eventually going to be trying it in this tank under low tech conditions. I'm sorry I cut the video, my dog was barking. But I'm going to give you guys some close-ups of this stuff. As you can see, it has some very nice round leaves. They're super pretty. It gives a super compact structure, and it just looks amazing, especially in nano tanks with this small leaf size. And it makes it an amazing plant for aquascaping. I know Yuri's had a tank with this recently and it just looks stunning. And it has become, and it has been, one of my favorite plants for a while. I've just had a bit of trouble growing it because I didn't keep it directly under light. It usually got a bit shaded, and then the growth got a bit laggy. So that means growing pretty much straight vertically with a bunch of space between each of the leaves, but now I've finally got it looking good. So guys, like I mentioned at the beginning, if you're in Canada looking for any of these plants, because I know some of these are harder to find in Canada because we don't have as many places online to buy from, you can check out my email down below to shoot me for a full list of plants, or DM me on Instagram at kalemsfishtanksyt. But yeah, if you guys found any of the information useful, if you keep any of these plants already, or if you are now found a new plant you want to keep, please leave a comment down below. But yeah, that about does it for this video. This was Kalem's Fish Tanks. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.